The best part about international education is the mind-broadening experiences that you undergo when you're teaching overseas. It stretches you professionally and personally, and when you're stretched, you have the sense of being very well rewarded.
I think that the greatest thing about being in international education is learning that other people with all their differences might also be right. That the ability to be able to deal with the other is absolutely tremendous, and the more that we can become internationally minded in the things that we do, the things that unite us as human beings are much greater than the things that divide us.
It's just opened a whole new world. I spent 35 years in my career back in the States before I went into international education and never realized what kind of an adventure there was out there in terms of the diversity of the people, just working with different parent community, different students, with teachers coming from all around the world. And so it's been a tremendously enriching experience for me, and frankly that's essentially been the feedback I've received from all the international school educators I've worked with.
The great thing about international schools is teachers can teach. We don't usually have the classroom management issues, the discipline issues that we find in the States. We're allowed to really do what's best for kids in the classroom, and teachers find themselves, they're challenged by kids, and they challenge one another, and you're really able to focus on teaching. And I think that most teachers who go international find themselves becoming better educators because they're more challenged by the students and the colleagues that they have.
One of the things that happens in international schools is the limiters that exist in U.S. schools anyway today are removed. What happens when you really have the professional development support that you need to continue to excel and improve your craft? What happens when you get full-on parent support and full-on board support and full-on faculty collegiality that sometimes just doesn't exist in many of the school systems in the United States and abroad?
I've loved it. Being an international educator has been the best part of my career, which has spanned well over 50 years now. It's been an exciting opportunity to work with people from many different places, to get to know them, to meet them again and again in your travels and in this wonderful community.
Once I got my master's degree, I couldn't wait to get back overseas because it was a far richer experience, far more dynamic colleagues, and an openness and an exploration not only on the personal side of life, but on the professional side of life that made it far more rich than any other experience I could possibly think about as an educator.
One of my deepest regrets when I now see what happens to children in these systems is that I didn't do it many years ago, because I would have liked to have my own personal children be at SAS experiencing what I see these kids experiencing.
Well, I actually spent over 35 years as an educator in the United States, and thought I had a really good career. I was proud of what we had accomplished and where I had been, and always good schools, and thought I was on the retirement edge of my life. And when the jobs opened up overseas and I came overseas, I realized that the best part of my career was in front of me, not behind me. So it's a great feeling for me and my family.